The headline was the number 1 pick versus the number 5 pick. The headline did not play out. The Mavericks outplay the Jazz, and we break it down next on POSTCAST. David Locke, along with Ron Boone, your Utah Jazz radio team, bringing you POSTCAST here after every single Jazz game. Thanks for joining us live in the chat room or wherever you might be. Jazz fall tonight to the Dallas Mavericks, 114-101. Talking to some of the Jazz front office people as they were leaving the arena tonight. It's another night, a lot of growth positives. They like what they're seeing, a lot of good effort, a lot of things. But the story that we were hoping to have come in was a Cooper Flagg versus Ace Bailey matchup. That did not really happen in this one. Walt Clayton didn't really had some interesting moments, didn't shoot it well. But there was maybe a little bit of this is your third game in the NBA of preseason. And oh my gosh, wait, my legs aren't moving. My body's not right. Like, oh, this is what this is going to be like. We don't play Thursday, Saturday, and get a whole week off before our next game anymore.
And another thing is that regardless of how you played the last game, players just continue to get better. I mean, they get to the point where, they're equally as good as you are and much stronger. So you're constantly trying to prove yourself and just be a better player every night. It doesn't change.
Ace Bailey went 1 of 5 in 10 minutes. He did not play the second half. He had bilateral knee soreness. Cooper Flagg went 3 of 13, 1 of 6 from 3. He did have 7 rebounds. He had 2 steals and 2 blocks. He finished with 11 points. Did you have any impressions on either of them tonight, or both just kind of a preseason pass?
I was watching. I had watched Bailey play a few minutes before tonight's game, and you can
Bailey
see,
or Flagg?
I'm sorry, Flagg.
Okay.
And is the real deal. It's not like he's a ball hog, but because he moves well without the basketball, and I think he plays well within the system there as well. Same thing I'm saying with Bailey in the first 2 ball games, especially. Not so much tonight, because it was a little different defense thrown at him tonight. And so now you got to make those adjustments, or can you make those adjustments? Because he's been very good at scoring and doing, what he needed to do within the offense. The defense changes. How do I make changes with it?
It was interesting pregame, by the way. Both coaches just were so effusive with their praise of their rookies. It was kind of surprising. You don't usually see that.
And should be.
And they should be. Here was my take on tonight. I thought the Jazz faced a team that played defense for the first time.
Yeah.
Houston really didn't play a lot of defense, and San Antonio didn't play a lot of defense. But Dallas was getting in on them and forcing them in, and they couldn't get room, and the back cuts weren't the handoffs weren't there. And then eventually they found a way to find back cuts and things of that nature. So I thought that you just saw the Jazz this has been, beginning to see the change of what regular season is going to be. And they're going to have this happen to them. There's going to be a bunch of nights this year where the other team digs in, plays defense, plays it hard, and it's just really, and this is difficult. We don't have a lot of self-creators on this roster. You've got to play inside the system and get opportunities. Lauri was back. You could see the offense working with 5 out and the handoffs off the big, but there just weren't a lot of guys running free or getting open tonight.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by making those adjustments yourself on how you're getting defended, and can you make those adjustments to the point where you make yourself effective out there on the floor. I mean, every team is going to defend you differently, and some teams might run a double team at you. Okay, so, what do I do? Make my teammates better, by getting rid of the basketball at the right time, or sometimes the offense just works, and you're very much a part of that. So young players have a lot to learn as far as making those adjustments, I think.
The player that probably will get the most talk out of this game is Cody Williams. He just was much more prominent, right? Last year, the comment was kind of, I always love when you talk about it, it's like he's just out there. He's just running up and down the floor. That was not the case. There was one play tonight that really stood out. He contests on a defensive end. They rotate to the corner. He goes and contests at the corner. The Jazz he forces the miss. The Jazz get the run. He sprints the floor. I think Lauri finds him on the bounce pass. Maybe somebody else, Keontae, one of the two, finds him for a bounce pass layup. And it was a 3-effort play, a sprinting of the floor. It just had it's making an impact. And I thought, that to me was a little bit, but there were also multiple drives to the basket, multiple plays tonight defensively where I thought he stood people up. Really, I thought you began to see pieces from Cody Williams that we just had not seen a lot of.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to see him do a little bit better at is when he's driving to the basket, elevate and make the layup. I mean, it's like he's trying to hit the backboard on the way up. And that's a great way of getting a shot off on a shot blocker by putting the ball on the backboard early. Now, if he blocks it, it's a goaltending, but otherwise. But I'd like to see him elevate just a little bit higher, put that ball off the glass and put it in the basket. You don't have to dunk everything.
Take me to understand rim finishing, because some guys are good at it and some guys aren't. So, like right now, he's going to the basket. I feel like he's at least heading to the basket this year. He faded away a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so this year, I feel like he's at least going to the basket. But there is like this tentativeness. I said that I almost wonder if he's not looking at the rim. Like he's seeing the bodies, he's seeing these other things. Like, what is the key to rim finishing? What are the things you have to do to rim finish? And then I'll have a second question on that.
The other thing is going in strong, first of all. Secondly, if you're getting defended, you initiate the bump. That way you're in control of how you're able to finish. You're not getting thrown off balance or anything like that. The other thing, David, is just elevate. I mean, you get up off there. Some guys go off two legs, but still get up in the air high enough to where you're putting the basketball on the glass and you're kind of up above the rim for the most part. Not hitting the basketball, hitting the backboard with the ball going up. A lot of that's effective with guys trying to block your shot. If you're putting it on the glass early, now they hit the block your shot and it's a goaltending call. He needs to be,
Is there a moment where he's literally going to go to the basket, go hard, and realize, oh, wait, if I am the one initiating, then actually I get all the way to the rim, I finish, or I get a foul? Because right now it feels like he's not maybe strong enough yet, but he's not taking it to them. It's like he's much more aggressive than he was a year ago. I mean, a year ago he's flailing out to the – so there's a lot of progress there. But will there be like this one moment where that's it?
Yeah, I guarantee you that will be just it. I mean, or someone's going to talk to him one of the assistant coaches. He's going to be watching a film, and they're going to see where he's just not going in strong. I mean, he's 6'8", and you think if you can finish, these guys are big and can jump in this league. You got to go in strong and make sure you can. If you're getting defended, just make sure there's some contact there, and he'll figure it out. He's going to the basket a lot more than he did last season. And that's a good thing.
There was a few plays tonight. I'm gonna go back and watch some of them, but my reaction a little bit tonight was there was some real dribble explosion getting by guys tonight that tells me he's an NBA. Like that's an NBA skill. Like there aren't actually that many guys in the world who can put it on the deck, cross you over, and just beat a guy. And I thought he was beating guys tonight off the bounce.
Okay, so you saw it. You're absolutely right. Played 26 minutes tonight, and so I think minutes are going to be very, very important for him because he's behind, I thought, from some of the other guys, just like Taylor, behind because of injuries, and Cody's behind just because of playing time last year and just wasn't ready. Obviously, he's had a pretty good summer, and I think minutes are going to be very important for him.
Walt Clayton's line is kind of pick what you want. You could decide he's 1 for 7 and you're really concerned. You could think he got to the free throw line 5 times and that's great. You could say he had 5 rebounds and 6 assists and that's super. You could say he had 3 steals and that's incredible. You could say he had 3 turnovers and you're concerned. Mm-hmm. I love the fact there's just a lot of numbers there. This is always how I felt about rookies. This is a good example of Cody Williams last year. Your concern is when there's just a lot of zeros. Mm-hmm. If there's a lot of numbers, they can fix the mistakes eventually.
Yeah.
But what did you think of Walt Clayton tonight?
Well, I think he's another one of those guys that needs some minutes. He came on this team, I think, as an offensive player. I'm not sure, what he did as far as distributing the basketball in college. You can tell me more than that. All I've heard you say is how great he is off the dribble, 3-point shooting. But as far as making his teammates better, I don't know. And you can probably tell me more so than that because I don't
think he was a totally natural point guard. I think that's a really legitimate question of
right.
And he's probably at 6'2" going to have to play point guard. I mean, he was just a big time clutch, massive scorer in huge moments in the NBA, in the college basketball last year. It's a good question and then Will Hardy made the comment that before game 1, he really thought he was just playing to try to do everything so correctly the whole time that he kind of forgot to play the game.
So how often do we see that though? Guys playing not to make mistakes and he's a shooter. He knows he likes to shoot the basketball. So if he works very, very hard, and I get the feeling that he's probably a better player in a half-court game than I haven't seen him do anything in transition as far as trying to get to the basket or anything. So
Interesting.
it's all up in the air, I think, for him
Had that
right
one
now.
really nice transition play where he kicked it back out for Bryce for 3, I think it was.
Well,
Remember that? That was a nice
if
one.
he can't make that play, then he shouldn't be.
That's fair.
Right.
But he also made the recognition was, I'm not athletic or big enough to finish in this league at the rim one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
I mean,
no
that's actually the
limitations.
one thing that people I think maybe miss is that when you have the one-on-one break, it's actually super hard to finish in this league on the one-on-one break if the other guy has you lined up.
Yeah.
All right. Fun one. We'll be back Thursday. That is Postcast tonight. I think the Mavericks can be way better than everyone realizes. Just a side note on that one.
Get those big guys back.
Yeah, they got a lot of big boys. All right. Fun to have Lauri. Flip had a tough return. Hopefully Walker back Thursday. That is Postcast. Thanks very much for tuning in. Have a great night. Be safe. You know what I forgot to do?